What the hell is up, guys? We're back at it again. This will be my first video after my insane, amazing, huge comeback. You guys probably know that I've been off for a couple of actually years, but I'm back with a new setup, new look. You got that 4K video on your screen right now. Um, Before I start this list, we're gonna go through the best albums of the 2020s so far. I think this list is pretty recent, yeah, 2024. So we got a year and a half of music missing, but I personally think that an album has to be out at least a year to make an honest review or listing in a list of the 100 best or worst albums. You cannot rate an album after a week to be in the top 10 of the best albums of this decade. So we're gonna go over this list. I want to keep myself a little bit, shorter than last time. I did not want and I did not expect the video to be over 30 minutes when I went over the worst takes of Anthony Fantano, aka The Needle Drop, but I had a lot of stuff to say. You can find this video on my channel or probably somewhere on that box on the left or right side to go through that some insane takes. If you haven't seen the compilation by Gab's Music TV before, um, look at the reaction and you will find the original video in the info box as well. Comment down below this video what your favorite album of this decade is so far and which album in this list you would disagree with the most. So I don't know, maybe you hate Cowboy Carter, and you think it's not fair for this album to be in this list. Type it down below into your comment. Don't forget to subscribe, please. That helps me out a lot. And same goes for liking this video. And if you don't like it, even disliking helps me. So even if you hate me, you can still, help me out a little bit. If you don't want to help me out at all because your hate is so big, I would appreciate you turning off now. I want to apologize for the bad tone on the first video I posted. On the video I posted yesterday, it should be fixed. I went over it and it sounded normal. But when I went over the worst takes of Fantano, I got this new DJI Mic Mini 2 here, as you can see. And I've completely forgotten that I have to set the gaining crown to a 0 to get, the same audio level as when you screen record of a monitor of a screen. So I effed up there a little bit, to say the least. So when you hear me talking, it's quiet as hell, but when the cut comes to his takes, it just blasts. So I hope nobody got hurt or deaf. We're gonna go through this. Thank you for the support. We have, I don't know all of these albums, and I think neither do you, so I will skip some. I will just scroll through here a little bit until we have the first album that the majority of us knows. All right. Still looking, still looking. I hoped for this list to be. What the hell is this album cover? I've seen a Pitchfork list recently where they went over the 100 worst album covers of all time, though that list was published in 2004, so a while back, or 2005. And if they would redo that list anytime soon, it would be perfect for them to include this. I still have known a single album. I didn't even know that much stuff dropped. That's a crazy name. It's like what you hear when you're in the 6th grade high school and you walk into the class. That's probably the first thing you're going to hear from some white dude talking in the back is this album title. I've heard about this album. I've heard a couple of songs. It was okay. It was not really my type of music, but it was okay. I found it to be a little bit overproduced. We have Tyler the Creator, um, definitely fair to be on a list. In my opinion, this album was better to me than Chromacopia was, which doesn't make Chromacopia a bad album. I just like this a little bit more. So valid to be in here. Um, that's okay too. I can imagine a lot of people, you know, being on that MKG. MKG is still not really my type of music, but I wouldn't call it a bad album. Don't know this one, unfortunately. That's fair. I don't know if I have heard any songs from this Dijon album, but I've heard a lot of Dijon songs because of a friend of mine, and I can imagine this to be a good album. I like his style of R&B. I have to tune into this a little bit more, not just this album, but his music in general. All right, I don't know Nala Sinafro, Mannequin P, I Got Heaven. Haven't heard of this album. Won't give it a listen, that's for sure. King Carson, A Great Chaos. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I listen to a lot of rap. My 100 best albums of the 2020s list would probably include 80 to 90 rap albums. This one wouldn't be in there. Definitely not. I don't know this one. Don't know this one either, but I like the cover. Alright, alright. I'm sorry, I just don't know. Alright, here we got something. Honestly, I would have. It's okay. Personally, I would have not even thought about this album to be included in a list if I would, if I would create a 100 best albums of the 2020s mix. Um, I don't know if I know anything about that tape, but I've heard something from RX Papi. It's alright. I can imagine this to be somewhat, valid. Women in Music Part 3. I don't know this one either. Eternal Attack, fair. Pretty fair. Good Uzi album. I would say the last good Uzi album. Like, really good Uzi album. Eternal Attack 2 was meh. Had a lot of lows. Um, it had a lot of lows, but in my opinion, it still had some highs. High Tech, valid if you still fuck with that type of hip hop, it's alright. Um, yeah, Florist, that's alright too. Probably, I would have probably thought about this album if I was, putting out a list, but it most likely wouldn't have made it. I don't know this one either. Don't know this one. Yeah, yeah, that's valid. That's that's valid. Don't know this one. If this seriously, I don't know any Korean. I don't know any Asian artists. I know about BTS, and that's probably the only artist I know, and the only BTS song I've ever heard consciously was when my girl put it on in the car. We got Taylor Swift Folklore. I would say it's fair. Wouldn't have put it on. I'm not a big Taylor fan, but I don't think she makes bad music. And I would say all her albums could be included in this list. Or at least I think it would be fair to include any of her albums, because she's so big, and so many people would agree. Yeah, that's valid too, somewhat valid. Personally, I wouldn't have included it. I would have included it if it got close. Like, I had 80 albums on my top 100 list, and I couldn't think of any other albums that are like not a bad album, but yeah, I would say any album from 50 to 100 on this list is somewhat it's the placement is somewhat irrelevant. You know, the top 25 albums, they would tell a lot about the artist and the album to be on this list, but there have been a lot of albums. There haven't been a lot albums out this decade so far that had huge success. There were these couple of albums that had huge success, but I think the if you compare 2010 to 2015 versus 2020 to 2025, there were way more number one albums, Billboard number one albums in the first period I mentioned. Chief Keef is somewhat valid. A lot of fillers though. Microphones is alright too. Don't know this one, don't know this one, don't know this one. I don't know this one either, I think. Uh, Not a big fan of Björk. Don't know this one either, I'm sorry. We have to skip to the next rap album. Yeah, music for four guitars. I had like one song when I listened to a New Music Friday playlist back when I had Spotify. I kind of like that. Reminded me of actually a Vivaldi piece, Dua Lipa Future Nostalgia. I would have probably included that. I think it's one of the best pop albums of this decade so far. I would have probably included this one too, but not of a personal preference, but more because of of the major success it had. Dawn FM, really, really valid. I would have included this in my top 10 probably, or in my top 25 at least. Great album. Dry Cleaning, don't know this one. Honestly, guys, I'm gonna go through the list pretty quick from now on. Deep and Blunt is valid. I've listened to some songs on this album back then when it released. It was alright. Don't know this one. Don't know this one. I've heard something about her. I heard some songs, but don't know this album. Nah. Nah. Honestly, the last three albums don't look like they were released in this millennium even. I don't know this one. I'm so sorry. I just don't know that stuff. What the hell are these covers though? That cover goes hard. Setting the graining option to 100% on your picture editing program. I know who Jessica Pratt is. I don't know any of her songs. Lorraine. Alright, we got two albums I actually know. Let's see, yeah, we have two albums here. Probably the longest streak of albums I've known in this list so far. Absolutely valid to include this album in this list. I don't know. Just because of the Kodak Black song, it would have made it for me because I think it's one of the best Kodak Black verses ever. Not a big Kendrick fan, you guys probably know that already, but not a bad album. And actually, although I don't fuck with Kendrick at all, I still found some songs, and especially some songs with feature artists where I really, really enjoyed the song itself, and also it popped to my head that the feature artist really did something under. Like as said, the Kodak Black feature, one of the best Kodak Black verses ever. Asaki is, I know about half of the album or 2/3. I like this shit. I like Asaki. I also like his song with Gunna, or his two songs. Don't know this one, don't know this one. I only have seen this cover, which I like pretty much. This is just rage baiting at this point, isn't that? Ain't that the album where she had that "Eat It," like that Michael Jackson "Beat It"? She made it Edit song on there, or is this any other tape? I'm sorry, but what the hell? This album got ranked higher than Miss Morale. Whether you like Kendrick or not, I think you cannot deny that Miss Morale is a better album than whatever this is. Any Kendrick Lamar fart is a better soundtrack than any single of this album, and they say it's better than Dawn FM. So we'll see. I think we're gonna have another surprise here that I would disagree, because we haven't seen a whole lot of Red so far, which would definitely not be my top 25. I know that Playboi Carti gets a lot of praise, the most overrated rapper at this time right now. Not in my top 25, and not in the top 10 of any sane person. Cash Cobain and Jolie. Honestly, I think that's the only good Cash Cobain album. After that, he invented this style, and then he just did nothing. It worked great for one album, but then it just, it got somewhat boring. Yeah. Nah, that's valid. I really like that album. This Lana Del Rey tape. It's good. I would have probably included in my top 25, definitely my top 40 or top 50. So I think this is pretty valid. I liked Chemtrails Over the Country Club a little bit more, but this album has some great songs. Also, the singles that didn't make it on this record but got released beforehand, also enjoyed. You could say I'm a pretty big Lana Del Rey fan. Of all the female artists that are still active right now, I have been active the last 10 years. She's definitely my favorite. That album is pretty good too. I've only listened to it on the release day. Somewhat valid. Billy Woods, Emma Buck, Buch. I don't know this stuff. What the hell? This album cover looks like it got made in paint. Motomami Rosalia. I know some feature verses of Rosalia. Never cared much for her. Charlie XCX, Brad. That's top 10 for Charlie XCX is absolutely valid. I'm not a big fan of this type of music in general. I'm not a big Charlie XCX fan either. But this album even had songs that I could enjoy. These Danger, alright, that's valid. Wouldn't have put it in my top 10 or top 25. Listen, if you think this album is in your top 5, that's okay with me. It would not be in my top 5 at all, but I would be okay with anyone saying, it's in his top 5, even his favorites. It's just not for me. I'm not a big Beyonce fan at all, and I don't care about. I don't want to be the guy to say I don't listen to Jay-Z or Beyonce because of the allegations, because that just would be not true at all. I just don't. I never really got into Beyonce, and I feel like now it's too late. When I turned 20, I felt like the ship has sailed with Beyonce. SOS wouldn't be in my top 5, but I would agree it would be in my top 10 or top 15. My opinion, the best pop album besides Bread that got dropped in this decade. I wouldn't call Lana Del Rey's album a poppy album. I would call it a songwriter type album with some pop and some country influences. So this would be the best pop album released, I'd definitely say so. Cindy Lee. I'm pretty scared because we did not have Red, Whole Lotta Red so far, and oh my freaking god. Listen, if you got Whole Lotta Red in your top 2, even in your top 5, we cannot be friends at all. It would not work. I'm sorry. To me, this album is garbage. Let's just say half of this album is absolute garbage, and the other half is mid. But yeah, bro, he did some new stuff on this record, some new stuff we never heard before. I did not need to hear that. All right, I didn't need to hear that shit. I didn't want to hear it. There's like 2 songs on this record I played more than 5 times, and the 5 times of all the other songs on this tape were forced. I was either unconscious or definitely it was against my will to listen to it. And we got the number 1, Fiona Apple, Fetch the Bolt Cutters. I'm sorry I don't know this album, so to me the best album of this list would be Playboi Carti's Whole Lotta Red, which I couldn't disagree more, even in this list, although I did not know the majority of the albums, and I think neither did you. It wouldn't even be in my top 100. It's not even speaking about number 2. Alright, so this is my biggest disagreement, my biggest, the biggest surprise to me and the biggest disappointment. Thank you very much for watching this video. Congratulations to Fiona Apple. I'm seriously glad you exist, just because A Whole Lotta Red didn't make it to the number 1 spot. Just because of you. So I will actually, after I finish this video in about half a minute, I will just listen to that album because of gratefulness. Comment down below which was the most surprising album listing you've seen here. Remember, number 1 is the best, number 100 is the worst of these 100 listed albums. Type down below which album you would have loved to see in this list, which album is missing in your opinion. Thank you very much. Please subscribe, please like this video, and I'm open for suggestions still. I've got about 10 video ideas from some of you commenting down below the last 2 videos, and I'm actually following all of them. At least when you see this video, I'm still doing until it gets too much, so you can type anything down below. Thank you very much for your watch and your time, and we'll see each other again maybe tomorrow. Thank you.